Hello, my name's Charlotte and I am the person behind Wild Magic Yarns. I come from Wales. I live with my husband, son, 2 dogs and 4 cats, and we've just moved into a little new build wheelchair adapted bungalow, which I'll have to show you all soon. It's still not fully unpacked or anything yet. But we're getting there slowly, and it's got a lovely garden. It's a really nice little house, really nice quiet area, and we are very happy here. It's been nice to move away from where we were. So yeah, I thought I'd do something a bit different with this podcast and use a talking animated photo of myself, which is a bit different. So I wanted to do a podcast, but I'm not very well at the moment. I've been having tests for a few different things, and it turns out I've either got Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, which are both forms of inflammatory bowel disease. I'm really unwell. I have been given a liquid-only diet and steroids, but I wanted to show you what I've been up to because it's been ages. I've moved house. I've been ill since we've moved house. I lost my mojo for everything crafty, but I'm getting it back slowly, and I've been working on things, and they're just building up and up now. And I thought I'd show you everything I've been up to. So I've got a few finished objects, I've got a few whips, not many acquisitions because I'm off sick, so I haven't got any money. I'm proper skint. But yeah, it's just been nice to get back into things again, to start making things again. I haven't had much energy, so I haven't done a great deal. But I've been enjoying just resting and being able to pick up what I want to pick up rather than feeling obliged to do things, which is always nice. So excuse the creepy avatar from my photo. I know people like to see faces and things. Like I said, trust me, you don't want to see my face. And we'll go into it. Here we go.
I am done. Romeo done.
So here is my first whip, and you're going to laugh because now I've put socks in it, it looks interesting. But I wanted to learn to make project bags. So I've never done a bag before. Personally, I think I did really well with the zip. It's neat. It's melted at the end from the heat press. But, you know, other than the melting, I don't think the zip looks too bad. The rest of the bag, I mean, it leaves a lot to be desired, to be perfectly honest. But it was a learning curve. And if I open it one-handed, it's lined. It's got socks in it, so it's functional. It might not look great. Let's face it, it doesn't look great. The seams aren't great. It's a bit bunched up in places, but it's functional and it's for me. So what I did then is learnt from my mistakes, and I made a second one, which is so much better. So this second one, I did the opposite. So I've lined it in the white fabric, and then the outside is this really nice constellation Arctic animals fabric. And if you look, you can see that the corners are nice, the seams are nice. The zip, again, I was pleased with the zip, but I think this bit could be a bit further in. Like on my other one, you can't really see much of the zip part, but then I suppose these zips are coloured zips and they're designed to be seen, so perhaps that one is a bit too small. I don't know. But yeah, the second one came out so much better. It's a nice shape. Everything's neat. The zip isn't melted, which is great. So that one's going off to a friend, and I'm going to keep the dodgy one. Isn't someone doing like a dodgy bag make-along? Might be Little Drops of Wonderful. Maybe this would be an entry. My first bag. So, yeah, they are my first whips. And I'm quite proud of this one. And I'm quite proud I learnt from my mistakes. My next finished object. Have I been saying whips? I mean finished objects. This goes to show how my brain is not functioning at the moment. This is a cross stitch. I haven't done cross stitch since I was a teenager, but I just really fancied it, and then I came across these patterns from Flossie Fox Shop on Instagram, and this whole pattern is basically my D&D character, who's a druid wizard with an owl and a jackalope, and she's into nature, and her sister lives in a fancy wizard tower. She loves dragons, she's got a spell book, and it's just her. So I had to do that. I finished it. It's not pressed or anything yet. I need to figure out how I'm going to put it into a frame, but I really like how it's come out. It's so pretty, and I like the sort of pixel art computer game sort of Stardew Valley vibe. The only thing that this cross stitch brought to me as a person was the fact that I've had to go out and buy glasses, because if you just look at this little moth here, I'm leaving it in as a reminder of the moment where I realised I'm getting old. That is absolutely appalling, and to my eyes it looked fine. Clearly that blob is not cross stitch, so I had to buy, those like cheapy glasses from Home Bargains or something, £1. I bought some of those, and then I could see, and it doesn't help that it's been done on black Ada either, because you can't see what you're doing at the best of times. But yeah, it's done. That little moth will forever be an admission of age, and now I need to find a frame so I can put her on my wall. This is my third finished object. A friend asked me if I could crochet an axolotl for his niece's birthday, in pale pink and purple. So this is what I've come up with, and I think it's come out well. I put a scent chip in it from Build-A-Bear and a little heart on its bum. My final finished object is a toft bird, and I thought, when I came out of the hospital on Friday, I thought I'd treat myself on the Saturday after and make one of my toft projects. So I decided to make Glenn the red kite, because I love red kites. I've been waiting to make him, and it was a proper treat. His little toes are awesome. They were very fiddly, but worth it. I love his fork tail, his little feathers, and my mum got me the little thing around his neck.
Love, I'll take all of this, alright? But I don't need another whip.
And now on to the actual whips. Hi Blythe. What you doing? Hi. Hi, Blythe is Blythe's paw. Hi. What you doing? Yeah, there are some crochet and knitting whips, I promise. But first of all, so I'm participating in the Summer Stitch Along with the Bakery Bears podcast, and we're making Jane Austen style project bags, and then we're going to be also making a pair of knitted fingerless mitts to go in them. So I'm making two project bags, one for me and one for my mum in opposite colours. This is the first panel of the project bag that I did. The pink one is for me. I did it in blanket stitch. Not a fan. I added beads. Not a fan. So not too keen on that panel. The next one I did for me, I did blanket stitch again so it would match, but I left the beads off. It's marginally better. And then I've just finished the first panel of my mum's. It's upside down, and I've just done this one with a whip stitch, and it is so much neater. So yeah, she's got the like sage green linen with pink. It's going to have the pink linen top and bottom, and then I'm going to have the green as the top and bottom of mine. Much happier with my mum's. Maybe I'll swap them. Don't know if she watches this. She'd be happy with either one, to be honest, but yeah. Definitely not a fan of the blanket stitch. Definitely not a fan of the little beads. Just doesn't look right to me. But the green is nice. The green is pretty. So I've got one more panel of that to do. I think the next part isn't released until July. So there's a few weeks to go. I'll probably finish mine over the next few days there, because I'm off sick until Tuesday. So I've got a few days. Today is Wednesday. So I've got until next Tuesday. So that is my first whip, and I think that is my only sewing whip. Yes, it is. Okay, I'll put that to one side and grab the next one. For some reason, in the height of summer, I decided that I wanted to make a Christmas blanket, as you do. It's even got a Christmas stitch marker from Chapel View Crafts. So I started working on the Star Bright blanket by Attic 24. I've done 2 rows so far. I absolutely love the colours in this so much. And this is join as you go. It's the first time I've ever done join as you go. I like it as a technique. I think that it looks really nice. You don't have like those ridges that you sometimes get when you join a blanket. It's flat on both sides, and obviously it's quite motivating as well when you're making a blanket to not have to sew it all together at the end. So I really like how this one's coming together. It's Stylecraft Special DK. Let me just grab the kit. It comes in a kit from Wool Warehouse, and I believe it's a free pattern, but you get the pattern in the bag with the kit as well from Attic 24. And just a quick plug, if any of you are on Facebook, I set up a Facebook group, I think about 2 years ago now, for just Attic 24 projects, because there are a couple of other Attic 24 groups, but they also cover other sort of elements of crochet, and it was sort of suggested that we have an Attic 24 group just for Attic 24. So if you want to come and join us, it's called Just Attic 24 Friends, and I think we have just over 8,000 members now, which is more than I ever could have imagined. And it's a nice group. There's never ever any trouble or conflict. I never have to do any admin. It's literally just people posting pretty crochet, all related to Attic 24. I think this square is my favourite. How nice would it be, that square there, pinks and blues, and then this one here is also pinks and blues. I want like a whole blanket just of those colours as well. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe a ripple. Ooh, that one as well. Definitely like those pinks and blues. And I love the zigzag pattern of the granny squares and the little starburst in the middle. So yeah, that is my second whip. It's going to be quite big. I've done 2 rows. There are I think 9 squares going across and then 9 squares going down. So it's going to be a square and there will be a border on this one at the end. Yeah, great little summer Christmas project. Okay, my next whip. This is a shawl, or will be a shawl, and I'm making it in the Little Grey Girl 2023 Advent. This is the yak version, which I saw on Martin of Knit 365's podcast, and I had major FOMO, but luckily Gemma from the Little Grey Girl dyed some extras of these, so I was able to get one for myself. I've completely forgotten the name of this pattern just as I've started to record, so I will look it up. Also, if you see any hairs, my chinchilla Persian Jon Snow, who is currently growling at birds on the bird table outside. Jon Snow! Hello! Hi, buddy! He has been sleeping on this project. So if you see any hairs, he is the culprit. Jon Snowy, we don't sleep on knitting, do we? No, we don't sleep on knitting. Anyway, this pattern is absolutely ideal for, let me zoom out a bit, for 20 gram minis, because each section uses pretty much 20 grams. If I just go in my project bag, this is my nice project bag from So Sweet Violet. I have somewhere in here put the leftovers of each ball. So you're left with literally that much of a 20 gram mini, which I would say is probably about 2 grams. So yeah, it is the ideal Advent project. And when it's done, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just going into the 8th colour now. So that is more or less a quarter. No, it's not a quarter, is it? It's a third of the shawl. So it's going to be like a big semicircle kind of shawl. And it's just plain knitting, garter stitch. When you change colours, you do these nice little rows. The holes appear when you make short rows, but they're kept in as a feature, which I think is really nice. And it has this really sweet little cable edging as well. So I absolutely love this. It's very mindless to do. Once you sort of do a couple of repeats, you don't need to use the pattern for it. And yeah, it's just absolutely ideal. I hadn't seen this as an Advent project before. I was looking for something perfect to show off the sort of fade of these colours, and I had to do quite a bit of digging on Ravelry to find this one. Most of you have probably seen it or heard of it, but I hadn't, and I just fell in love with it as soon as I saw it, and I knew this was going to be the one for my yak shawl. And I just love the colours. In real life, they're a lot richer. No, even if I zoom in, it's not showing the colours very well, but it looks quite washed out on the camera. I can assure you that is, oh, that's sort of a bit better. And it's a bit darker. Let me just pull this one over and see if I can. No, it's not showing up at all. That is like a really beautiful gold in real life. But yeah, it's a lovely project. It is a shame that the colours aren't showing up very nicely on my camera. But I hopefully will have put the name of the pattern on the screen as I'm talking about it. And I can't wait to finish this one because it goes from reds and pinks now into purples and then blues and then greens. And it is going to be beautiful. Yeah, so that is whip number... Did I do a sewing one? Yes. Did I do a knitting one? No. Whip number 3. I did a crochet one. Whip number 3. My next whip is the Mermaid Tail Socks by Needles and Love, but Needles has a K at the start, like knitting. Needles and Love. The pattern is available on the Knit Picks website. I have done my own cuff because I like the twisted rib 1x1 cuff, and then it's got this lovely mermaid scale pattern that goes all the way down the foot to the toe. And I've even done a heel flap on these. I don't like doing heel flaps, but I felt as if these needed a heel flap. So they're really, really nice to knit. I've been knitting them for ages because I haven't really been knitting socks much. But I do need to get them finished because I have the most gorgeous sock yarn to show you from Pixie Yarns, and I'm absolutely desperate to knit them into socks. So I need to finish these first. And a cute little project bag from Siobhan's Crafts. And look at the stitch marker. It's a little book from Adventures in Yarncraft, and it is tiny polymer clay book, and it is just adorable. The yarn is from Spectrum Fibre, and it reminds me of summer and pink lemonade and sunshine, and I just love it. It's far more neon in real life. The lighting is quite good in this room. Too good, too bright. It's blown out all the colours. But yeah, they are beautiful, and I'm really enjoying working on them. Really easy. Pattern repeat. And I can't wait to wear them this summer. My next whip is also a Spectrum Fibres whip, but this is my monthly yarn club, so it sort of counts as an acquisition as well. I'm just going to dump it all out and show you properly. So this is the Jon Snow hair. This is the Tropics yarn club from Spectrum Fibre, and every month I get 3 20-gram minis of DK. So those are the colours for May. And then what I'm doing is, there are a lot of odds and ends left over because you have to kind of do a top stitch on this blanket at the end when it's all joined together. So let me just move these out of the way and I can show you what I've done so far. So apart from the latest month, I am all up to date. Every month I've worked it out with the Magic Circles blanket pattern by Janie Crow. So every month I make 6 of these big circles. So this was January, and you've got like a cream variegated, a blue variegated, and then a blue solid. So I make 6 of those every month for the whole year, as well as 3 semicircles. So we've got 1, 2, 3 from January, and then 7 of these tiny circles, so with all different sort of combinations of the 3 colours. And then also every 3 months you make a quarter circle as well for the 4 corners. And then what happens is, once you've done 12 months, you join everything together with a joining colour. So I haven't decided what that's going to be yet. What I'll probably do is have a look at all the colours when they're laid out. Maybe some sort of neutral. I mean, it's a tropical yarn club, so I'm thinking, well, I was thinking of pale green, but that's pale green, so maybe not. I don't know, we'll see. But this was February's colours, so you got the pale green, a bright variegated orange, and then a pinky peach solid colour. So again, 6 of the big circles, 3 semicircles, and 7 of these little mini circles. Then we had March. March is really pretty. They're quite similar to my socks actually. 3 variegated colours, like a cream, a peach and a pink. And then April, we've gone for some bolder colours. So we've got, I really want a skein of this variegated one, like a whole skein, because it's amazing. It reminds me of mermaids and it's just beautiful. And then we've got the like pale yellow and a navy blue. And they look really, really nice together. So that is April. The blanket that I'm making is slightly smaller than the Janie Crow version. I've had to like work out by weight and numbers and everything how everything fits together with this blanket, which it did take a while, I will be honest, but now I've done it, I'm good to go. And I know exactly what I'm doing every month, how much I can get out of each 20-gram skein, which is great because it doesn't leave much, but it leaves enough to do some top stitching with when it's all sewn together. So yeah, so I'm now ready to start the 5th month, which is May, and so we've got this like turquoise colour, a pinky purple, and then this is so pretty, like a variegated, sort of reminds me of cocktails and flamingos and the sea. Definitely tropical. Yeah, so I'm really pleased with how this is going. I love the colours, it's so bright and cheerful. I wanted to do a pattern that fit with the tropical theme, and I reckon these little circles look like tropical pools. So yeah, I am very pleased with this blanket so far. And I have to wait for another 7 months until it's finished. But it'll be definitely worth it. Jon Snow is fuming because there's a pair of magpies hanging around the bird table and his little tail. He stopped now just as I've said that. His little tail is twitching and he's growling at them. It's very sweet. Good afternoon, Mr. Magpie. I don't know where the other one's gone. He was there a minute ago. It's enjoying the little mealworms and seeds that we've put out there. It's not put off by Jon Snow at all. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's just been shouting at him. But yeah, we've had sparrows so far, a robin, and the other day I was so annoyed that I missed getting my camera out in time. But oh, there's the other one. A huge jay landed on the bird table and it was beautiful, and I missed it with my camera. I'm wondering if I put steak on there, if the red kites will come down. Probably shouldn't encourage that really, but yeah. 2 for joy. Hey, Jon Snow. Yeah. 2 for joy. Stop wagging. Having their breakfast, lunch. Not impressed. Okay, so this is my last whip of the moment, and I should have probably opened this before I started filming. So this is my D&D blanket. I dyed the yarn for this myself, and I've designed the blanket myself, planned the blanket myself. Each yarn is based on a D&D character in my Friday game. So Erin is me, we've got Pariette, Stagera and Frit. Rose is an NPC that is like my little sidekick. The Dazzle Dusk is the name of the campaign. Thron is another one of our party members, and TRK is the big bad evil guy, BBEG. So all designed. I did start off doing each character all the hexagons for each character. So there's 12 hexagons for each. Chose hexagons because they are the same shape as a D20. So this is my character Erin. She's a wood elf wizard druid, and she's all about greens and pink foresty colours. And then each hexagon is going to be bordered with this yarn that I dyed, and this is the Dungeon Master because he is the one who writes the story and brings everything together. So I thought it would look really nice if he was represented in the blanket, and it's based on like ink and paper. So yeah, so I've done my character, and I've done Stugera, who is a half orc, and it's got shades of green in there. It's got armor colours, rust, a bit of blood. That is my favourite colour of them all. I love it. So I've done all hers as well, and I've done what's hers, and I've done all of Pariette, who is a bard, but she's a creation bard, so she paints things and she flicks paint around to cast her spells. And then I got bored, so I decided to do some random ones rather than doing all of one colour. So I've got an example of each one. So this next one is Thron, and she's like sort of indigenous, kind of like a North American Indian character. So there's some reds and blues in there. And then there's also like some browns. She's a ranger. She's camouflaged in the trees. So that's her. And then we've got Rose, our NPC. I really like the way this one came out. It's sort of like pale yellow, greys and turquoise. She does ice magic, so I wanted it to have those ice tones. Then we have Frit, who is our rogue. She is all dressed in black. But she has a bow, a phoenix bow, with flaming arrows, so it's got the fire in there, and then a touch of green as well, because she is a wood elf. So that's Frit. And then we have TRK, the Ruined King. He is the bad guy, and these colours were taken from an image of him provided by our Dungeon Master. And then the last colour then is the Dazzle Dusk. So this is also taken from an image made from our Dungeon Master. It's like our campaign image, and it's sparkly because it's Dazzle Dusk, so how could it not be? So yeah, all the yarn is dyed for this blanket. It's all planned out perfectly, and all I need to do is just continue to make all these hexagons, and then border them all, and then sew them together. So there's still quite a lot to do. I've only finished 3 characters fully, but I finished all the ones with ticks, so that's not actually that much that I finished. I thought I was about halfway, but looking at that, I don't think I am. But we'll get there. I'm really enjoying it. I made up the pattern myself. It's just 6 repeats with a chain in between for the first 2 rows, and then 2 chains in between for the next 4 rows. Just trebles increasing on each round, and it makes a nice hexagon. But yeah, this blanket has a lot of meaning, obviously, because the hexagons are made to look like dice. It's got a bit of every person that I play with on a Friday. We've been playing with this DM for, I think, coming up, well, it must be at least 4 years now, every single Friday. and we also play other games together. Most of us play other games together. We play other games of D&D on certain nights of the week, and we play Sea of Thieves on the Xbox. Some of us play Baldur's Gate 3. Now and again we play like online board games and stuff, so it's a really nice group of friends, and it's really nice to have all their characters represented in a blanket. That the colours don't necessarily go together really well, but it will be very special to me once it's done, and it's a great reminder of everyone's characters. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's going. I cannot wait for this to be finished. I had not lost it, but put it to one side when we moved, so I haven't done any work on it. So I've been really enjoying now picking it back up and doing one of each colour so I can see what they crochet like. I really do like this one. It's very nice. But I want like a garment made of this. It's just lush. I love it. I love that little touch of orc skin green and the little bits of rust and blood in the armour. I really like this one. It's my absolute favourite. Even more than my own characters. I do like hers as well, obviously, but yeah, that one just would look so nice in a garment. Maybe one day. I'm sure I wrote the colour recipe down somewhere. That one's nice too. I like them all. I'm really proud of my dyeing for this blanket. Really proud. Yeah. So that is the Dazzle Dusk blanket, and that is my last whip of the day, of the month, of the random times that I podcast. And then I will just show you one acquisition because I haven't been buying much. Absolutely skint. Moved house. Oh, I do have something else though to show you, which is really cool. This acquisition is from Pixie Yarn. It's called In Your Face, and it is superwash merino, 100%. It is just amazing. And what I'm going to do in a second is I'm going to put some little clips in of the skein on Taylor, my Swift, being wound by my ball winder Bertha. Yes, I do have a Swift called Taylor Swift. And it doesn't look as amazing now it's caked as it did in the skein, but it still looks amazing. So it just goes to show how beautiful this yarn is, and I'm absolutely desperate to cast it on as socks. I want to do like something with a bit of texture but not too much to distract away from the colour. I was going to do a vanilla sock, but then I thought it might look nice with some texture. I don't know. I'm going to have to look at patterns. I really want to do this yarn justice. It is probably one of the nicest yarns I've ever bought. So I will pop in some footage now of it in the skein because it is just too good not to see. My other acquisition is this amazing lamp, which my son is just holding here for me. I got it off Facebook Marketplace. It's an actual little spinning wheel. It doesn't work or anything. It does turn around, and the little flyer turns, but it's a lamp. My son is convinced it's haunted, and I love it. The only bit of news I have is that my son has now finished his GCSEs. He had his last one, which was music, on Monday, so he's free now over the summer, and he's told me he wants to dye yarn to make some money over the summer, which I'm more than happy for him to do. So over the next few days, he's hoping to set up a dye space in this house, and he's going to be selling yarn through Wild Magic Yarns, because everything's all set up, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he comes up with, because I'm too ill to dye yarn at the moment, and I'm really missing it, and getting to sort of watch him and advise him and see what colours he comes up with and everything is almost as good as doing it myself. So yeah, keep an eye out for Tom's yarn on my Instagram. Maybe I'll do some videos of him dyeing as well. So that's everything for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really sorry about the avatar. It makes my mouth look very strange, but it's a better alternative to not making a video at all, I think. It's given me the confidence to put a podcast out there, which can only be a good thing. So I would love it if you liked or subscribed or commented. And I'm also on Instagram at Wild Magic Yarns, and I'm dabbling with TikTok a little bit as well, so you can find me on both of those platforms. Hoping to be a bit more active on Instagram than I have been recently. I've been a bit out of it. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to be back sooner this time for another podcast. Bye!